The night sky burned with falling fire. Meteor lights crossed the clouds like golden scars. Captain Ryan Hale drove his jeep across the silent desert, his scanner flashing red. The military radar had caught something unusual, something not from Earth. He stopped the vehicle and stepped out. The air smelled of smoke and metal. A crater lay ahead, wide and deep, with glowing blue liquid spread across the sand. In the center of that crater was a small figure. Not human, not machine. Something between both. Ryan moved closer, gun ready. The figure twitched. A faint voice broke the silence. "Please, don't hurt me." He froze. The voice was soft, weak, almost childlike. He knelt beside the figure. It was a girl or something that looked like one. Her skin shimmered with pale blue light. Her eyes were silver and full of pain. Small metal veins glowed under her skin like stars under glass. She looked barely alive. Her breathing was slow and broken. Ryan tried to call for backup, but his comms went static. The signal was dead. The crash had burned the area with strange radiation. "Who are you?" he asked. She blinked, her lips trembling. I don't know anymore. My ship is gone. My people are gone." Ryan looked around. The broken parts of her ship were scattered like glass. Nothing else had survived. She was alone. He wrapped his jacket around her small body. She was ice cold, but the light under her skin pulsed softly when he touched her, almost like she felt safe. He carried her to the jeep and drove toward the nearest outpost. She kept whispering in a strange language, but sometimes he heard English words. Family, home, daughter. The words made him uneasy. He wasn't used to hearing an alien sound so human. When they reached the base, doctors and scientists surrounded them. They placed the girl in a glass chamber, connected her to machines. The screen showed no match for her species. She wasn't in any database. Her DNA wasn't like anything on Earth. Ryan watched through the glass as her small hand pressed weakly against it. Her eyes searched for him. She looked afraid, like a child in a cold world. Dr. Miles turned to Ryan. "She's dangerous. If she wakes up, she could destroy everything in this lab. Her energy readings are unstable." "She's just a girl," Ryan said quietly. The doctor frowned. "No, she's a weapon. We've seen her kind before during the Jupiter War. They were made to kill." But when Ryan looked at her again, he didn't see a killer. He saw fear. He saw loneliness. He saw a dying soul asking for warmth. That night, when the base went silent, Ryan stayed near her chamber. She opened her eyes again. "Why, do you help me?" she asked weakly. He didn't know how to answer. "Because you needed it," she smiled faintly. "Humans are strange. My people never helped the weak. We only obeyed orders." "What happened to your people?" Ryan asked. Her eyes filled with light and her voice shook. "They erased me. I wanted to feel something real. I wanted to belong. I escaped. I crashed here." He felt a sting of sadness. "Belong where?" She looked at him with trembling lips. "I wanted to be someone's daughter." Ryan's chest tightened. Those words echoed inside his mind like thunder in silence. He had no family left himself. His wife had died years ago. His daughter had never been born. Hearing those words from an alien girl felt like something breaking open inside him. Before he could say anything, alarms blared through the base. A voice shouted over the intercom. "Containment breach in Lab 4. Subject must be terminated by sunrise." Ryan's heart pounded. The girl heard it too. Her silver eyes filled with tears. She pressed her hand against the glass and whispered, "Will they kill me?" Ryan's throat went dry. "I won't let them." She smiled faintly. "It's okay. I don't fear death. I only fear dying." Without belonging, he couldn't look away. The glow in her skin dimmed like a dying candle. Then she reached toward the edge of the glass, her voice shaking. "If I die tomorrow," she whispered, "can you sign the papers?" Ryan blinked in confusion. "What papers?" She closed her eyes and breathed softly, almost a sigh. "The ones that make me someone's daughter." The room went quiet. The machines hummed softly. Ryan stood frozen as her light faded again. He didn't understand what she meant. Papers, adoption? A dying alien asking to be someone's daughter? None of it made sense, but deep inside something told him this was not the end. It was the beginning of something far greater. Something that would test what it truly meant to be human. Outside, the storm raged again. The stars burned brighter, and inside the chamber, the alien girl slept peacefully, dreaming of a home she never had. The night never truly ended inside the base. Lights hummed from every wall, white and cold. Captain Ryan Hale couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw her face. The alien girl with silver eyes lying behind glass whispering about papers. He sat in the observation room staring at her chamber. She looked so fragile, almost human now, her glow fading like the last ember of a dying star. A question burned inside his mind. What papers could a dying alien possibly mean? Ryan's thoughts were broken by footsteps. Dr. Miles entered, holding a report. "She won't last till morning," Miles said flatly. "Her life force is unstable. The general ordered her termination at sunrise." Ryan clenched his jaw. "Termination? She's not an experiment. She's alive. She's a threat," Miles snapped. "That thing could destroy us all if she wakes up fully. We already lost a drone to her energy field." Ryan said nothing. He looked through the glass again. She was still like a sleeping child. His heart refused to believe she was dangerous. When Miles left, Ryan turned off the cameras and quietly unlocked the lab door. He stepped inside, the air thick with energy. Her glow flickered as he approached. "Hey," he whispered. "Can you hear me?" Her eyes opened slowly. "Captain Ryan," she murmured. "You came back." "I had to," he said softly. "What did you mean by papers?" Her trembling hand reached toward a small metal device beside her. It looked like a silver cube half broken. She pressed her fingers on it, and a blue hologram filled the air. Shimmering lines of alien writing and a few English words. Adoption request. Species. Xerian. Status. Rejected. Ryan froze. "This is an adoption form?" She nodded weakly. "I studied your human networks. Before I escaped, I saw how humans adopt orphans. You give them homes, names, love." Her voice cracked as she smiled faintly. "My creators. They built us. But no one ever loved us. I wanted to be chosen." Ryan felt something heavy in his chest. The alien girl, a being created for war, wanted nothing more than to be loved like a daughter. He looked at the hologram again. The rejection notice blinked red. Why was it rejected? "Because no human would sign it," she whispered. "Your law says no non-human can be part of your species, unless one human signs the bond willingly." She coughed, her glow flickering. "I am dying, Captain. But if one human signs, my soul will be linked. I will not disappear. My memories will live in your bloodline." Ryan felt the words sink deep. "That's not legal," she smiled sadly. "Maybe not. But it's human." Outside the lab, soldiers shouted orders. The sound of boots echoed closer. They had discovered the camera blackout. Ryan's time was running out. The girl looked at him, her voice trembling. "They will come soon. Please, sign it. Let me be someone's daughter, even for one moment." Ryan's heart pounded. Every instinct told him to run, to follow orders. But his soul whispered something else, something deeply human. He took a deep breath and pressed his hand on the hologram. The system scanned his fingerprint. "Signature required," the device said softly. He hesitated. "If I do this, what happens?" Her silver eyes met his. "Then I will belong. And maybe, so will you." For the first time in years, Ryan felt warmth in his chest, the kind that had died with his wife, the kind that came from love. His trembling hand moved closer. Suddenly, the door burst open. Soldiers stormed in, rifles aimed. "Captain Hale! Step away from the subject," shouted Commander Briggs. Ryan turned, hand still hovering above the glowing signature field. "She's not a subject. She's a person. She's a weapon," Briggs shouted back. "Sign that thing and you'll be court-martialed for treason." The girl's glow began to fade faster. Her voice was weak. "Please, Captain, don't let me vanish." Ryan looked between the commander and the dying alien. His heartbeat echoed in his ears like war drums. The hologram flickered, counting down to termination. 10 seconds. He could see fear in her eyes. Not fear of death, but fear of dying alone. 9. Briggs raised his gun. "That's an order, Captain." "Step back." 8, Ryan whispered. "I'm sorry." "Sir." 7. He pressed his thumb against the hologram. 6. The device glowed bright white. "Signature accepted," it said. A surge of blue light filled the lab. The girl gasped, her body turning into pure energy. The soldiers fell back, shouting. The glass chamber shattered. Ryan reached out, but she was already dissolving into light, her voice soft and peaceful. "Thank you, Father." Then everything went dark. When Ryan opened his eyes again, the lab was silent. The chamber was empty. She was gone. But when he touched his chest, he felt something faint, a heartbeat that wasn't his. And deep inside his mind, a small, gentle voice whispered, "Hello, Dad." The world was quiet when Captain Ryan Hale woke up. Too quiet. Smoke floated through the broken lab. The smell of burnt wires and dust filled the air. Every screen was dead. The soldiers who had stormed in earlier were lying unconscious on the floor. Sparks flashed from the shattered glass chamber where the alien girl had been. She was gone. Ryan sat up, his head spinning. His heart pounded too fast. But something was different. He could feel another heartbeat, faint but steady somewhere inside him. He pressed a hand to his chest. "Hello?" he whispered. At first there was only silence. Then a soft, familiar voice echoed in his mind. "Father?" Ryan froze. He looked around, but no one was there. The voice came from within him, gentle, calm, and full of warmth. I'm here," the voice said again. "Don't be afraid." Ryan's breathing quickened. What are you?" "It's me," she said softly. "Your daughter. You signed the papers." He remembered the last few seconds before the explosion, his thumb pressing the glowing hologram, the words, "Signature accepted," and her body turning into light. That light had gone straight into him. "Where are you now?" he asked quietly. "Inside you," she whispered. "Your blood carries my code. My energy joined your cells. You gave me life in your world." Ryan stood slowly, unsure if he was dreaming. His reflection in the broken glass caught his attention. His eyes, as normally brown, now shimmered faintly blue. He felt panic rising. "What did you do to me?" "I didn't mean to change you," she said softly. "It was the only way to survive. The signature made our bond complete. You became my home." He leaned against the wall, overwhelmed. "You can't stay in me forever." "I know," she replied. "My energy will fade soon unless we stabilize it. But your people will not understand. They will kill us both." Ryan realized she was right. If the military discovered he was carrying alien energy, they would label him as contaminated or worse. He had to escape. Outside, alarms still wailed through the base. Ryan grabbed a jacket from a fallen soldier and slipped into the corridor. The voice guided him. "Left," she whispered. 2 guards ahead. "They can't see us yet." "How do you know?" he asked. "I can sense their heat. I can read movement. I can help you survive." Her calm tone steadied him. Together they moved through dark halls until they reached the exit. Rain poured outside, heavy and cold. Ryan climbed into a jeep and drove off into the storm. Lightning flashed across the desert sky. For a long time, neither of them spoke. Then she said softly, "It feels peaceful in here, warm. I never felt that before." Ryan almost smiled. "You sound like a child." "I'm still learning," she said. "I was made in a lab. We were never allowed to feel." He gripped the steering wheel tighter. "What did they make you for?" She hesitated. "War. We were born to serve and die. But I wanted more. I wanted to live as someone's daughter, not someone's weapon." Ryan's throat tightened. He knew what that meant. She wasn't just an experiment. She was a living soul trapped in a system that never saw her as one. He parked under an old bridge to rest. The rain softened. His hands trembled slightly. "I don't understand this," he admitted. "I was a soldier my whole life. I fought things like you. But now, you feel like a father," she whispered. He let out a shaky laugh. "Maybe I do." For the first time, he didn't feel alone, but peace never lasts long. Before dawn, a red light blinked on the Jeep's console, a tracking signal. The military had found him. "Father," she said quickly, "they are coming. I can block the signal for a short time, but we must leave." "Where do we go?" Ryan asked, starting the engine. "There's a desert station 30 miles west. My systems can rebuild a body there, if we reach it in time." Ryan hit the accelerator. The Jeep roared through the mud. Helicopters appeared in the distance, their searchlights slicing the darkness. Bullets struck the ground behind him. Ryan swerved hard, heart racing. "Can you stop them?" he shouted. "I'll try," she said. "But it will hurt you too. Do it." A sudden pulse of blue light burst from his chest, spreading through the storm like lightning. The helicopters spun out of control, crashing one by one. Ryan gasped, gripping his chest. His skin glowed blue for a second before fading again. "Are you okay?" he asked between breaths. "Yes," she whispered weakly, "but my energy is fading fast. We must hurry." Ryan drove faster, knowing every mile could be their last. As the sun began to rise, the desert stretched endless before them, golden, empty, and quiet. Ryan's voice broke the silence. "What's your name?" "I can't keep calling you girl." There was a pause, then a soft laugh inside his head. "I never had one. My creators used numbers. Then I'll give you one," he said. "You deserve that much." She waited. "What name would a father give?" Ryan smiled faintly. "How about Luna? For the light that never stops shining, even in the dark." Her voice trembled with emotion. "Luna, I like that." And in that quiet dawn, man and alien, father and daughter, disappeared into the endless desert. Their bond written not on paper, but in blood and light. The sun rose over the desert like a giant red eye. Captain Ryan Hale stood by the jeep, staring at the horizon. The sand stretched forever, quiet and empty, but his mind was far from calm. Inside him, Luna's voice whispered softly, sometimes clear, sometimes faint like wind. "Father," she said, her tone gentle, "the light hurts your skin. Cover yourself." Ryan smiled tiredly and pulled up his collar. "You sound like my mother now." "I just want to keep you safe," she replied shyly. He looked down at his chest. The faint blue lines under his skin still glowed. He could feel her heartbeat mixing with his own, a strange rhythm of man and alien. They had been driving west for hours, avoiding cities and roads. The military was searching for him now. The news must have spread. Human captain steals alien weapon. They didn't know the truth, that the weapon just wanted a father. By evening, they reached an old fuel station buried under sand. The sign was half gone, the building empty. Ryan parked the jeep inside the ruined garage. "This will be our home for now," he said. Luna's voice was soft. "Home, I like that word." He set up a small fire with old wood and broken crates. As the flames grew, he could almost feel her warmth through it, the strange connection between them. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Luna said quietly, "I can see through your eyes now." Ryan froze. "You can see what I see?" "Yes," she replied. "It's beautiful. The fire, the sky, it's like colors singing." He laughed a little, shaking his head. "You really are new to this world." "I never saw color before you," she said softly. "On my world, everything was gray. We lived in metal halls. No sky, no sun, only commands." Ryan listened quietly. Her words carried pain, the kind that never healed. "How did you escape?" he asked. "I learned about humans from intercepted signals," she said. "You spoke about love, family, and hope. I wanted to understand those words. I stole a small ship, but they shot me down before I reached your moon." Ryan sighed. "You risked everything, just to feel love?" Her voice trembled. "Yes. I thought if I could find one person who saw me not as a weapon but as a daughter, I'd finally be real." He looked at the fire again, eyes soft. "You found one." Night fell. The desert grew cold. Ryan lay on a blanket, staring up at the stars. "Father?" Luna whispered, "Yeah. Do you miss your family?" He took a deep breath. "Every day." He told her about his wife, Sarah, how she loved the sea, how she dreamed of having a daughter but never got the chance. Luna listened in silence, her presence warm and still. "She would have liked you," Ryan said finally. "I wish I could have met her," Luna whispered. "Maybe I could have called her mother." Those words hit deep. Ryan closed his eyes, fighting tears. "You still can," he said softly. "She'd be proud to have you." But peace never stayed long. Around midnight, Ryan heard a faint hum in the air, not the wind, but a pulse of energy. Luna's voice grew urgent. "Father, someone is near." 2 life signals. Human. Ryan grabbed his rifle and peered outside. 2 drones hovered over the dunes, scanning with red lights. "They found us," he muttered. "Let me help," Luna said quickly. "No," Ryan warned. "You'll drain yourself." "I must protect you." Her energy pulsed inside him, stronger and brighter. The drones locked on, firing plasma shots. Ryan dove behind the jeep. Blue light burst from his hands, spreading like a wave. Not his power, but hers. The blast hit both drones, freezing them mid-air before they exploded into dust. The desert fell silent again. Ryan gasped for breath, shaking. "Luna, you okay?" Her voice was weak. "I'm tired, but you're safe." He looked at his glowing hands in awe. "You used my body to control the energy." "Yes," she whispered. "You are my link now. My power flows through you." Ryan's mind filled with fear and wonder. He wasn't just her guardian anymore. He was her vessel. The next morning, Ryan sat outside watching the sun rise. Luna's voice was faint, almost fading. "You use too much power," he said. "You need rest." "I'll be fine," she whispered. "But I feel strange, like part of me is missing." "What do you mean?" "There's something calling to me, a signal far away. It feels like home, but..." "Wrong," Ryan frowned. "Maybe your creators are trying to track you." "Maybe," she said softly. "But the signal feels sad, like it's crying." He looked at the horizon, his soldier's instincts awakening. "Then we'll find it, before they do." She smiled faintly inside his mind. "Always the soldier," he chuckled. "No, just a father protecting his kid." The words made her quiet for a moment. Then in a voice that shimmered with warmth, she whispered, "Thank you, Dad." Ryan smiled at the empty air, feeling the strange joy of belonging again. Somewhere deep inside, he knew their journey was far from over. But for the first time, he wasn't running from the world. He was running for someone. And in that lonely desert, a human and an alien girl, one hidden inside the other, shared the same heartbeat, bound by love stronger than any code or law. The desert was endless, quiet, and golden. For 3 days, Captain Ryan Hale and Luna had traveled west, away from everything human and everything known. The Jeep engine coughed under the hot sun, and the map on the dashboard showed nothing but sand. Luna's voice had grown weaker each day. She no longer spoke in full sentences, only short, soft words inside Ryan's mind. "Left," she would whisper. Or water. Sometimes she just said, "Mike, stay." But that morning her tone changed. "Father, I hear something." Ryan stopped the Jeep. "What do you hear?" "A signal. Very old. It's calling me." He looked at the scanner on the dashboard. The radar blinked, faint, almost invisible. But it was there. A repeating code pulsing in slow rhythm. Ryan frowned. "It's coming from the north." "Yes," Luna said, her voice trembling. "It feels familiar, like a heartbeat from home." Ryan hesitated. It could be a trap, the alien empire trying to track her. But he also knew they had no other chance. Her energy was fading fast. If there was even a small chance to save her, he had to try. He turned the wheel north. "Hold on, Luna, we'll find out what it is." Hours passed. The wind grew stronger, whipping sand into the sky. In the middle of nowhere stood a black mountain, jagged and strange, too smooth to be natural. Ryan parked the Jeep and stepped out. "What is that place?" Luna's voice was barely a whisper. "An old relay tower. My people built them long ago. They hold memories, and sometimes souls." Ryan walked closer. The structure was made of dark metal, half buried under the sand, humming with quiet energy. Strange symbols glowed faintly along the walls. He pushed open a heavy door and entered the dark chamber inside. The air was cold and dry. Blue light flickered from a single machine in the center, a pod covered in dust. Luna gasped softly inside his mind. "That's it. My memory core." "Your what?" Ryan asked. "My other half," she said weakly. "Before I escaped, I copied part of my soul into the tower. I thought, if I died, I could return here." Ryan approached the pod. The screen on its side flickered, showing alien text that translated automatically into English. "Status: incomplete soul data. Human DNA required to rebuild form." He froze. "It needs human DNA?" "Yes," Luna said. "When you signed the papers, your DNA became linked with mine. The system needs it to create a stable body." Ryan looked at the pod again. "If I do this, what happens?" "You'll give me life again," she whispered. "But it might take something from you too." He smiled faintly. "You already took my piece. Might as well take a little more." He took a deep breath, pulled a knife from his belt, and cut his palm. Blood dripped onto the console. The machine absorbed it, glowing bright blue. The floor trembled. Sparks danced through the air. Ryan stepped back as the pod began to open. Inside, a small shape started to form, a body made of light, bone, and memory. Luna's voice grew clearer. "Father, I can feel it. I can breathe again." Ryan watched, heart racing. "Come back to me, kid." The glow filled the chamber until it was blinding. Then slowly it faded. Standing before him was Luna. Not the blue-skinned alien he remembered, but something new. Her skin looked human, her eyes silver but soft, her hair dark like the night sky. She wore a simple robe made of light. Ryan couldn't speak. Luna smiled, small and gentle. "Hello again. Dad." He stepped forward, tears burning in his eyes. He reached out, touching her cheek, and warm, real. "You're alive," she nodded. "Because you believed I could be." For the first time, she wasn't just a voice. She was real, breathing, smiling, alive. But the moment didn't last long. The machine behind her started beeping wildly. The screen flashed red. "Incoming transmission detected. Source: Xerian Commandrian cursed." "They found us." Luna turned toward the pod, her eyes wide. "No, they traced the activation signal. They're coming." A deep hum filled the air, a sound like thunder underground. Outside, Ryan could hear engines approaching, not human ones, but alien, low and sharp. He grabbed Luna's hand. "We have to move now." She stumbled, still weak in her new body. "I'm not strong yet. My systems are still sinking." Ryan looked around desperately. "Then we hide until you can." "No," Luna said softly. "They'll destroy this tower. All my memories will vanish. I can't let that happen." She placed her hand on the console and blue light surged through her veins. Ryan grabbed her arm. "Luna, stop. You'll drain yourself again." She looked at him, eyes glowing. "You gave me life, Father. Now let me protect it." The ground shook as alien ships broke through the clouds, glowing symbols shining on their hulls. Ryan stood by her side, rifle ready, heart pounding. "Then we fight together." Luna smiled, her silver eyes fierce and proud. "Like a family." The first beam of alien light struck the desert, lighting the sky in fire. Ryan and Luna stood in the doorway, father and daughter, human and alien, ready to face the storm. And as the world trembled around them, Luna whispered in his mind one last time, "This time I won't run. This time I'll make them remember I was someone's daughter." Smoke rolled across the desert like a dark sea. The air smelled of burning sand and metal. The alien ships had left the sky torn open with fire. Ryan Hale stood in the ruins of the old tower, coughing, eyes stinging from dust. "Luna?" he shouted. For a moment there was only silence, then a voice. Not from his mind this time, but from behind the smoke. "I'm here, Father." She stepped out slowly, her new form glowing faintly under the rising sun. Her eyes still shone silver, but her skin was now soft and human-like. Each breath she took made the sand tremble a little. Her power was alive again, but different now. Controlled. Balanced. Ryan looked at her with disbelief. "You survived that blast?" Luna smiled gently. "I was born again through your blood. I'm not what I was before." He walked closer, touching her shoulder. She felt real, warm, alive, and steady. "You look human." "I am half human now," she said softly. "Half of me belongs to you." Ryan laughed quietly, shaking his head. "Well, that explains why I've been getting headaches." Luna tilted her head in confusion. "Headaches?" "Never mind," he said with a grin. "It's good to see you standing again." They spent the next few days hiding in the mountains. Ryan built a small shelter out of old ship parts. Luna explored carefully, learning how to move, eat, and breathe in her new body. One morning, she found a small lizard crawling on the rocks. She knelt beside it, smiling. "It's warm," she said. "It feels alive," Ryan chuckled. "That's what being alive is. Feeling the world." She looked up at him. "I think I finally understand what it means to exist. To be real." He nodded, proud but worried. She was learning too fast. Her power was growing every hour, and she didn't seem to notice. The air around her shimmered faintly when she laughed, and small stones sometimes floated near her feet. At night, when she slept, Ryan could feel her dreams echoing in his mind. Flashes of her world. Cold metal corridors, screaming machines, endless orders. But now those dreams were fading, replaced with soft human thoughts. Laughter, colors, warmth. One evening, as they sat by a small fire, Luna looked at him seriously.
"Father, the Xerian ships will come again."
"They won't stop." Ryan poked at the fire with a stick. "I know. They won't forgive you for leaving them." They don't understand freedom, she said. To them, everything is a command. They'll see Earth as a threat now, because you gave me a choice. Ryan stared into the flames. Then we'll have to be ready. She turned to him. I don't want war, Father, he sighed. Neither do I, but sometimes peace needs someone to fight for it. Luna was quiet for a long time. Then she whispered, You humans are strange. You fight for peace, but you love through pain. You destroy, but you heal. It's confusing. Ryan smiled faintly. Welcome to being human. That night, the stars above them flickered, not from distance, but from movement. A faint hum grew in the air. Luna stood up quickly, eyes glowing. They're coming, Ryan grabbed his rifle. The Xerians? She nodded. A small scout fleet. They found the signal again. Ryan looked around. We can't fight them all. Luna stepped forward, her hair glowing like threads of light. No, but I can protect you. Her hands rose slowly and the air began to vibrate. The ground cracked beneath her feet. Blue light wrapped around her body like wings. Luna, stop, Ryan shouted. You'll burn yourself again. She smiled softly. It's different this time. I control it now. The first alien drone appeared over the ridge, firing beams of plasma. Luna lifted her hand and the blast turned to mist before reaching them. The second drone exploded midair. Ryan watched in awe. You're stronger than before. I'm balanced, she said calmly. Half of me is your humanity. It gives me control. The drones kept coming, dozens of them. But Luna's power grew brighter. She moved with grace, every motion a ripple of light. Ryan ran to her side, covering her from debris. You don't have to do this alone. I'm not alone, she whispered. You're here. The final drone dove toward them, engines screaming. Luna reached out, catching it midair. With a single motion, she disarmed it and let it fall harmlessly to the ground. When it was over, silence returned. The stars looked calm again. Ryan slowly approached her. You did it. Luna's eyes dimmed slightly. For now. But the main fleet will follow soon. They'll come for me. And for Earth. He put a hand on her shoulder. Then we'll stand together. She looked at him, tears shining like liquid silver. Why do you keep risking everything for me? Ryan smiled gently. Because you're my daughter. And that's what fathers do. She leaned her head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. It's loud, she whispered. It reminds me that I'm alive. Ryan held her close as the wind carried sand across the rocks. Above them, the stars shimmered softly, unaware of the storm that was coming. Far beyond the sky, in the dark silence of space, a vast Xerian mothership awakened. Its core glowed with red fire. A cold voice echoed across the fleet. Target, Earth. Retrieve Subject 47 or erase her world. Back on the mountain, Luna opened her eyes suddenly. Her glow brightened with fear. They're coming, she said softly. And this time, they won't stop. The stars burned red that night. Captain Ryan Hale stood on the cliff's edge, the desert wind pulling at his torn jacket. Far above him, the sky rippled with light. The Xerian mothership had arrived. It looked like a floating city made of steel and anger, stretching across the heavens. Beside him stood Luna, his half-human, half-alien daughter. Her silver eyes reflected the chaos above. She was calm, too calm, as if she already knew what must happen. They found me, she said quietly, and they'll burn your world to take me back. Ryan tightened his grip on his rifle. Then they'll have to burn me too, she smiled faintly. You always say that. So human. The mothership's loudspeaker cracked the air. A cold, robotic voice echoed through the clouds. Subject 47, return to command for retrieval, or this planet will be erased. Luna closed her eyes. They don't understand love, Father. They only understand control. Ryan looked at her glowing face. Then we show them something they've never seen. Moments later, Earth's defense systems came alive. Missiles streaked into the sky from every nation. The first wave hit the Xerian fleet, but the alien shield swallowed them like rain hitting glass. Ryan's earpiece buzzed with static, a human general shouting orders. Captain Hale, if that girl is still with you, surrender her immediately. Do you copy? Ryan turned it off. Not happening. Luna touched his arm gently. You could still walk away. You didn't ask for this. He looked at her, voice low but steady. You asked me to sign those papers, remember? That made you my daughter, and a father doesn't walk away. She stared at him, eyes full of light and sorrow. Then I'll protect your world. My world. The ground shook as alien beams tore through the clouds, turning mountains into glass. Ryan pulled Luna behind the rocks, but she didn't flinch. Her glow brightened until the sand itself floated around her like dust in sunlight. "Luna, stop!" Ryan shouted. "You can't fight a fleet." She smiled sadly. "I can't fight them, but I can stop them. What are you talking about?" She looked up at the sky. "The adoption link, the signature you gave me. It bonded my energy to your planet's frequency. I can use that connection to create a shield around Earth." Ryan shook his head. "You'll die," she nodded softly. "Yes, but I'll be doing what I was made for, not as a weapon, but as someone's daughter." Ryan grabbed her hand, his voice breaking. "There has to be another way. You said you were half human now." "Humans find another way," she smiled through tears. "You taught me that love is the other way." He stared at her, helpless. The girl he saved, the one who had fallen from the stars, now stood before him as Earth's last light. Luna floated upwards slowly, her feet leaving the ground. The wind roared around her, whipping her dark hair across her glowing face. Ryan shouted her name, running toward her, but the energy pushed him back. "Father," she said softly, her voice echoing in the air. "You gave me life. Now I'll give you tomorrow." Her body shone brighter than the sun. Blue light spread across the sky, weaving like threads of hope. The alien beams hit her shield and shattered into harmless sparks. The mothership trembled as its weapons failed. Inside the alien fleet, voices screamed through static. "System corruption! Her energy is rewriting our command code." The light spread wider, over the oceans, the forests, the cities, wrapping Earth in a shimmering blue sphere. Humans everywhere looked up, seeing the same miracle, a girl of light standing between their world and destruction. Ryan fell to his knees, tears burning his eyes. "Luna, come back! Please." Her voice was faint now, floating like wind. "I'm still here, Father, always." Then the light burst one final time, a wave so bright it turned night into day. When it faded, the sky was empty. The mothership was gone. So was she. Ryan stood in silence. The world was safe, but his heart felt hollow. He looked up, waiting for her voice. There was none. Only the soft whisper of wind. He dropped his rifle and sank to the ground. Around him, the desert was quiet again. No fire, no sound, just peace. Hours later, as dawn painted the sky gold, Ryan noticed something glowing near the rocks. He walked over slowly. It was a single sheet of paper, torn, half-burned, yet somehow still shining with blue light. He picked it up and read the faint words, "Adoption request approved. Guardian, Captain Ryan Hale. Status, daughter of humanity." Tears rolled down his face. He folded the paper carefully and placed it over his heart. "She did it," he whispered. "She really became someone's daughter." A soft breeze passed by, warm and gentle, and for a moment, he thought he heard her laugh, a tiny echo carried by the wind. Ryan looked up at the sunrise and smiled through the tears. "She saved the world," he said quietly, "and all it took was one human signature." The light of morning touched the desert, and for the first time in years, Ryan felt peace. He turned away from the empty sky, walking toward the horizon, carrying her memory, her promise, and the proof that even in a cold universe, love could still change everything, only human-signed papers. And that was enough.